Hello, welcome to Hobby Studios DIY session. Today's session we are going to see how to make an eco-friendly Rakhi. So all the materials that I've taken here are basically recycled or reusable materials that is easily available in our homes. Nothing has to be store bought. Say for example, this is an old greeting card. You can take an invitation card or any thick cardboard kind of a paper. I mean, not as thick as a cardboard, but slightly the thickness of this sheet. Okay, so any paper that you can find it of this thickness is ideal to go for our Rakhi. And the other thing I've taken here is basically these threads, these woolen threads. These were available from the leftover Rakhi. Leftover, what do you say, crochet work that we were doing last week. So this is basically from that. There are a couple of ribbons. If you don't have these woolen threads, you can go with these ribbons, satin ribbons. So these are also not store bought. These are something that I had taken from one of the birthday wraps that we had done one or two of the sessions here. Okay, so yeah, all these are recycled and all these are reused materials. Nothing are store bought and nothing is expensive at this point of time. All what you require now is some creativity. And most important of all, what I have here is basically the seeds of musk melon. Okay, so I have taken muskmelon because that was the seed that I had from last week's fruit. You can take any melons or any gourds that you have that you generally buy at home for consumption. Just have to peel out the seeds out of it and then keep it in the sunlight for at least a week so that it is completely out of moisture, dry, and you can it is ready for sowing. That's sort of any seeds you can take. You can take watermelon, any melons, gourds, anything you can take. Or if you have some seeds already, like for some store-bought vegetable seeds you have, please go ahead and do it. Or even for the joy of planting something new and giving your child that sort of a lesson in how a plant grows, you can even try a basic green gram seed, which is available in every household, right? So green gram, you just have to soak it and make it into sprouts, and then overnight if you soak it, or maybe a couple of days if you soak it, you will get sprouts coming out of it, and then you can use that as the seeds you're putting in the Rakhi. Okay, fine. So now let's get started with the session. What I'm going to do is quickly cut a small coin-sized what do you say, base for our Rakhi. Okay, so coin size means something like this, maybe. Yeah, so I just have to keep a coin on this and cut it out. So let us do that. Let's see how we are doing this. So I'm going to cut one of these sections. Okay. Yeah. So I've taken this basically, and I'm going to place this and draw a circle around it. Yeah, so if you see, I'm drawing a circle on it, and then yes, just because we have to tie the knots, tie our Rakhi will have the thread part of it. So to attach that, I'm going to add these two sections on my paper. Okay, so for the design which we are going to draw inside, you can choose anything that your brother would like. For example, it can go as a small vehicle, or a rocket, or if they are kids, then maybe they might like the idea of having a car on the Rakhi. They might like the idea of having a rocket, or any vehicles, or their favorite cartoon characters, everything. So you just have to identify what you want to draw here and then draw it within the circle. Okay, now for example, I have taken here a small piece of a rocket. If you can see, I have drawn this here. I'm going to do the same thing on this sheet of paper that we have taken today and show you how to draw this. All right. So you can look at how I'm drawing this. So basically, we need the Rakhi. All right. So now just exactly where we had where we had put these two circles, we're going to punch a hole. So this is a small store-bought puncher that I have. You can maybe, if you don't have a punching machine, you can also take the help of your parents and make a small hole with a pencil or a strong pin object. Okay, so I'm going to use a punch because it is more neat when we use a punch. Okay, so see to that it's right in the center and it is not going out, so that if it goes out, there are high chances that you might tear the paper. Same way we're doing it here as well. Okay, so we have two holes now ready for the thread to go in, right? Okay, now let's get into the painting part of it. So here I'm basically going to paint the outer space of this spaceship as dark blue. So I'm going to use paint here. And paint the outer space into dark blue. If you're using paint, just try to fill in the outer space first without touching the design element, and then we can perfect it with the color. If you have a thinner brush, that would be sufficient, but since I'm running out of stock of my old brushes, I'm using this brush basically. If you have thinner brush, just try this, or you can also use a sketch pen to cover it. Okay, yeah, see the outer space is covered now. Now we might have to use a mix of red and yellow for the fire part of it. Wait for the blue to dry and then you can use this. You can also take help of your parents to cut it accurately if you're not comfortable using the scissors, but if you do it slowly and carefully, it is easily possible. Perfect. Do you see that? We have a perfect rocket dial. Now, coming to the most important part of it is attaching the seeds to the dial. Okay, so here we have two places or three places maybe we can place the seeds. One would be this part of it where there is a seed, and maybe the wings we can have the seed. These are the three areas we can place the seed. Okay, so what we do now is take some Fevicol and stick these seeds on top of it. So if you ask me, like, after sticking, do you have to paint the seed? You can do it, but I would suggest that you just leave it just by sticking one small drop, so that the seed element is seen. Or if you wish that you want to color that bit, please go ahead. It's your your dial. You can be as creative as possible. Okay, yeah, that's it. So now let's do some final touch-ups and see how this is going to be finished. Yeah, just to give that effect, maybe the fire effect. Yeah, the final part of it is to color this into the violet shade. You can actually wait for it to dry because now there is no time since that for drying. That is the reason why I'm painting on top of it. Otherwise you can wait for it to dry and then do the sketch part of it. Okay, so that it doesn't shake while you're making it. Okay, so yes, the rocket dial is ready with the seed. Okay, yeah. Now coming to the knot tie, I mean the thread part of it. So you can choose one of these colors because the concept of rocket is fire, and you know it gives it is more or less matching with these two shades. I'm choosing the ribbon, but otherwise you can also use one of these threads if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to take uh, one of these colors. What goes well with this? I would maybe try blue first or the orange, whichever. Both looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to take blue here and take the size of your wrist, just so much that you can tie this way. Yeah, and you can actually, you know the size of your brother's wrist, right? So you can take the size of that basically. So I'm going to cut it with this end. Okay, and I'm just going to fold the tip a bit like this and place it here. You can actually wait to dry for this paint to dry, otherwise it'll, you know, smudge on the ribbon. But otherwise I'm going to just put it through and pull it outside. Yeah, I think this is big enough. Let's try and see. Yeah, you see that? The knot is big enough so that now it doesn't come through the hole. The same way, we need to make another knot. I'm going to cut the extra bit here so that it doesn't, you know, yeah. Now I'll take this around and put it through this hole. And similar to what we did here, we need another knot here. Yeah, so we have this ready. Now cut the base portion for you to tie it. Yes. So here you go. You have the rocket Rakhi for your little brother. So here you have the rocket Rakhi. Likewise, you have I've made a few other Rakhis here. So this is a car Rakhi, and here instead of the ribbon, I have actually taken three woolen threads of the same color and use the same thing. If you see, I have just cut out the shape of a car and painted it, and on this section, I have kept the seats. You can see that. Also, I have taken the thread through the car. Okay, so this is between. So I've put the woolen thread from one end of the car's punch hole and taken it out through the other end. So this becomes the back side, and here you have the front side. So this also makes a very beautiful Rakhi for your little brother. Okay. Yeah, you have that. Okay. All right. Another way you can do this is to make it a little jewelry kind of a bracelet kind of a thing. Here again, I've used the same trick because here I have cut out a dial, and what the seeds I've used here are basically pumpkin seeds. If you see, I have painted on top of it so that it's a little camouflaged. And then I used some of these glitters to decorate it. Please feel free to do it as per your interest and creativity. Go ahead, explore whatever you can do with the limited materials that you have that is available at home. And the only difference here is the woolen thread. I have plaited it, just like how you plait your hair. I have plaited the woolen thread. Okay, and the ends are tied. Same way here behind this, I've taken it through the 2 punch holes and brought it outside. So once you plait here, it is positioned right in the center and wouldn't move. So that's it. Go ahead and explore.